Hello everyone, very happy new year to you and welcome back to Deansbury Town. In this video I'm going to run through the plans for the layout in 2022 and take a quick look at a couple of new items I've got for the layout and the workbench. A big thank you to everyone who's subscribed to the channel over the last year. I've just made it past 800 subs, which is incredible and way beyond what I'd initially hoped for. It's given me the motivation to try and grow the channel further, and I'm aiming to get a new video out every 2 weeks this year. The content will still be largely focused on the development of the layout and the buildings of Deansbury. However, if there is any content you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy this video and do stick around for the upcoming content. So working my way out from the back corner of the layout, I've completed the corner low relief shot backs here. Next target is to bring this along to the left and the right here, and I'm aiming to finish those by the end of January as my next kind of target. Once they're in place, I'll then start to work on the row of shops that will go along the front here. More buildings there, and they're full-size buildings, so give myself a little bit more time to work on those, hopefully by somewhere around the end of April. And then moving slightly further forward, I think I've deliberated this a bit and I'm going to replace the platforms here. I've worked out the template shape they need to be now, so all of the platform will be replaced. And that will give me an opportunity to correct the platform height. Something that's been here since the start. The track is on cork, the platform isn't, and hence the platform's about 2 mil too low to where it needs to be. So that'll all get tidied up in the platform rebuild. Following on from that, once I've got the platform in place, I'll then commence the construction of the retaining wall all the way along, and that'll give me the full sort of platform then to build the station building on. So the target is to replace the platform roughly end of May, then the retaining wall, a couple of months to do that I think, end of July. Obviously need to join it in with the old retaining wall here, and then at this end blend it in with the low relief back scene here. And then station building and the sort of waiting room area here, end of October is my plan for doing that, and then finishing off with all the final road scenes, pavements, detailing, and joining this up to make it look like a complete scene by the end of the year. So that's the sort of major plan for Deansbury Town for 2022 in this corner. I'm not the best at sticking to one thing and focusing on it, but I think if I set that out in those sort of slightly more manageable chunks, that gives me a bit of a plan to get through to the end of next year. Obviously that's dependent on having enough spare time available to do the work. If I get bored of the station corner, there's quite a few little jobs over in the depot corner just to tidy this area up a little bit. The buildings themselves haven't been bedded in as such. So you can see here there's a gap between the building and the sort of the floor area here, the ground. So that needs a layer of floor covering and blended in and weathering. And similarly with the very low relief structure in the corner, I'm going to build a small sort of single wall to go in front of here to hide this sort of pavement area. Some sort of wall between the two buildings here as well needs doing, and bedding the Deansbury Works building in, finishing off the wall here. So that's kind of some odd jobs that I may do if I get bored. I just need a break from the station corner. Scenery wise, in the sort of countryside area, not anything at all has happened in this area, to be honest. I'm kind of inclined to leave it as it is until I've finished off in the depot corner. I'm in two minds whether to keep this as it is and just add a few more details, put some trees in here, or sort of turn this over to development and put some buildings here. Although I think I've got plenty of building construction to keep me going for the foreseeable future, so that may be a future plan that comes along later on. Similarly with the street scene, going up here, up the hill, again, although I started this quite some time ago, I think I am going to leave this until I've finished the station corner to avoid even more part finished areas. And finally, the last bit of the back scenes join in the depot corner to the station corner, and then back up Market Hill from the station to the town. I think they will come after their respective corners have been finished, join everything together.
Time now for a really quick look at the latest additions to the workbench. This is the Scale Model Scenery Bench Hook Kit number SX012, useful for holding strips and blocks while cutting with a saw. It's really simple to assemble, as 4 short and 4 long strips are glued together to form the hook and the rest using PVA glue. These are clamped while the glue sets, and once set, one block is glued to each of the larger main boards. The full width one forms the base of the block, and the shorter one forms the top with the cutting rest. Again, these are clamped while the glue sets. Finally, the 2 boards are glued back to back, clamped and set aside to dry. This makes a handy and sturdy rest, useful for cutting larger material that needs a saw rather than a knife, and will certainly come in useful in the future. The next item we have here is a sanding block, SX011, also from Scale Model Scenery, and this is used to keep parts nice and straight when sanding. This is built in a very similar way to the bench hook, with 4 strips forming the hook and a 5th strip sits on top of the board to clamp the sandpaper using the supplied wing nuts and bolts. Again, all the parts are simply glued and clamped together using PVA glue. A guide rail is attached here to the baseboard. Excess glue can be removed using the remains of the latest modelling disaster fished out from the bin. If you want to know more about this sorry tale, check out my previous video, linked above. Once dry, the bolts are fitted. Trim a sheet of sandpaper to the rough size and bolt in position. I just simply push the bolt holes straight through the paper using the scissors. I think this paper is a little bit coarse for the job, but it's all I had to hand. I think something a little bit smoother will be better. Next, I have these new right angle clamp from Smart Models, which are used when assembling buildings to keep the parts at right angles while gluing. And again, these will come in very handy when putting buildings together for Deansbury. Finally, I have these lovely custom 3D printed Deansbury Town station signs from Model Railway Scenes. These are a surprise Christmas present and will be used on the new station. Well, that concludes the first video of 2022 here at Deansbury Town. I do hope you'll join me in future videos as I progress with the layout build, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Bye for now.